let's talk about algebraic forms. So that's just a fancy word which refers to terms, expressions, and equations. Now in this part, we're only going to focus on the concept of a variable and equations, as well as terms and expressions. Firstly, what's a variable? So let's try to remember. A variable is a letter which represents an unknown number. So we call it a variable because that number might change. It can be something else. And the fact that it's unknown means it can change. As an example, let's take height. So height can change from one person to another. Right? So instead of just saying height, we just represent it as h. So h represents a number. How many centimeters? Now, in mathematics, a variable just represents a pure number. That's why we say pure maths. So here we are mainly going to be representing pure numbers. Number sets, must remember this. These are just the types of numbers when we group them. The naturals, the whole, the integers, rationals, the real, and irrational. Now terms. Terms are component parts of algebraic expressions. So they are what forms algebraic expressions. It can be a number, a variable, or a product of both numbers and variables. Right? So you can think of them as bricks in a algebra house. Right? If it does exist, algebra house. Right? Now let's look at an example. You have 8x. Right? So you have 8 multiplied by x sitting there all alone. That's a term. And you have y squared. Within this expression, the terms are simply x squared, 5x, and a negative 1. Then expressions are just combinations of terms. So now here we bring together the terms using addition and subtraction without using the equal sign. That's important. An expression is just a standalone sentence in mathematics. Let's look at examples. You have 20 divided by 2 plus 5. Notice that the terms here is 20, 2, and 5. They are combined by division and addition symbols. Then you have this expression here. And another one. X squared minus y squared. Still an expression. So here the terms are x squared and y squared. Now an equation is where we bring two expressions and then we put an equal sign in the middle. Notice that we have an expression on the left and then a term on the right. The important thing about equations is that the left hand side can be evaluated and the right hand side can also be evaluated. Therefore, the left must actually be equal to the right. So that's how the equations are. Here's an exercise. So identify each of the following as a term, expression, or equation. So you can pause the video and try it. Well, hopefully you have tried this. Now let's look at a solution. You have 15x. Now look at it. 15 and x, they multiply together. Right? So this represents a term. You have y equals to negative 2x plus 1. We can already see that there's an equal sign. And we have a term on the left and an expression on the right. So this is an equation. You have 9ab squared. So 9 times a times b squared. It's a product of numbers and variables. So it's a 10. You have x minus 1. We see two terms here, and they're combined together by subtraction. So this is an expression. And then you have mc squared, which is just a term. Now, it's important to understand what we discussed here, because algebra revolves around these objects, right?